Well, we can see everything.
Oh, some of them.
Yeah. Okay. I swear I've seen these somewhere before.
Oh yeah, I recycle the fuck out of everything, sir. You notice that the blob people seem to be able to make and unmake limbs, including arms, legs, etc.
English? Anyone speak English?
They all look around. Nobody does. They all talk to each other in French some more.
Anyone? I'd say
Hold on. Let me see which our languages might. Well, French is definitely the language here, but give me a second to see what.
I thought that might not roll.
Give me. Does anybody speak any languages that start with an R? With an R.
No.
Okay. So give me a roll on new language. If you make it, you pick up a new language. They're by the way, super rare. They find like one person to speak each of these. Fumble, they're like, fuck you, and you're like, yeah, I don't get it.
Does the language count as a write-in skill?
Absolutely. Or language, yeah.
Play write-in plus 20.
Now keep in mind, only one or two people here speak this. And not great either.
What happened? To go off. Let's see. Try again.
Right.
Hey.
Congratulations, you have picked up Russian. Russian
dog.
Yeah. Also, give me new language rolls for another language. They're basically pulling out all the stops, and they're finding the guy who knows like 5 words of this other language to see if you know that.
What's the new language?
It's called Yeldish.
Yeldish.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeldish.
We'll copy, paste that. There's that. Now, hold on a second. Instant teleport to new map. And let's see.
And is that a Earth language, or is it made up?
It's not one that you've heard of on Earth.
Okay.
And one last language. Go ahead and give me learn rolls for maybe somebody will pick up a new language.
Another fumble.
Fuck you. Fuck you. And looks like Glenn picks up Ozo.
Ozo. Yeah. What do people say in Russian and Ozo?
I have a quill. My quill is a feather. And he looks very pleased that and everybody. That's it. Actually, in Russian, it'd be like, I am quill, feather, because Russian eliminates most of the conjoining words. I've been studying that shit. What the fuck? So.
I am not quill.
Yet, whatever quill is. So, yet. So, anyway. It looks like French, though. Everybody here overwhelmingly speaks French. And they all speak it at you for a while. And eventually, after a lot of, there's a lot of gesturing going on. Small problem, their gestures are not always the same as humans. It's worse than in, what was it, Bulgaria or something, where if they nod, that means no, and if they do this, it's yes.
That's all the time, though.
What? Yeah, but Jesus, it happened to me all the time. I was having this really good thing, and the guy's like, "You doubt my story?" What?
They don't do that anymore.
They do. They did it when I was there.
Okay, that was a long time ago.
They still do it. Young people might not, but I wasn't always talking to young people. Anyway.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Now you guys get to find out that the village, they're happy to take you in the village. They're treating you nice. They offer you like weird fruits and foods that you've never seen and don't know if are poison to you or not, because they don't know what a human is. Cool. Give me a con endurance roll. I'm curious to see how you do. Shows him standing there eating an apple, and all of a sudden just the jungle behind him is blanketed in like an explosion of shit, and he's like, good.
I made it, but I pressed the wrong button.
Okay, that's great. Fine. Yeah, no problem. Do you want to try anything?
Done by Freddy.
Okay, no problem. Neither of you guys go through a really horrible readjustment. Some of it's really bad. Some of it's pretty good. They basically are holding a little feast because they're super curious about you. The little village is called Ville de Bon. It looks like it's got about 100 soldiers and 100 people here. So 200 total. They live in pretty low ramshackle huts near the edge of the river. Everything's extremely dirty, as are the inhabitants. They're actually they're getting a half day for you guys being here, and so they're turning it into like a feastling. Even if they don't get to talk to you, they're still fucking taking off because life here looks hard and dull. There's a lot of weird flowers everywhere. The buildings have a thrown together look. Also, you're not sure if they have religions or something, but there's like one building you're not supposed to go into, but if you like look close to it on the sides, you can see what's inside, and it's pretty much nothing. It looks like they wove together a bunch of vines and branches and made kind of like a weird gazebo type deal. And you're instructed like, no, stay away from this. But everywhere else, unless you're going into somebody's private residence, they don't give a shit because there's really nothing to see or steal here. They have boats and a road that goes from this village to somewhere else. The lady, give me French roll. She attempts to explain what's going to happen next because it looks like they've got stuff they're wanting to do. You have no idea. You're thinking, give me empathy rolls as you attempt to read the body language. You're thinking that tomorrow, like tonight's feast night, tomorrow you guys are going somewhere else that involves that road. The road is also downstream. The road runs next to the stream. You're not going on the boats because all the boats are like big flat boats that they're loading mud on and shit, but you're going on a road.
Does it feel like we're being ordered to do this or invited to do this?
You're thinking with your amazingly good empathy that it's one of those kind of things where you're not being ordered unless you resist the invitation.
So we're being ordered, okay.
And they are assigning a couple of guards that they introduce you to. The name, one's a blob guy named Carno, and the other one's like one of those monkey guys with the things. By the way, at night they wear their goggles on their heads. They have like really big eyes.
What are the goggles made of?
It looks like tinted dark glass.
They had that in the 1300s?
Yeah. Spectacles were invented recently, but due to the specific race, they worked a lot harder on them than they did in the 1300s. They had corrective lenses and shit. These are not apparently, like, he hands them to you when you look curious and you look through them. Not corrective at all, just make things a lot darker.
Oh, so they're sensitive to light. Okay.
That would be your guess. And the monkey guy is named Jeremy.
Okay. What was the other one's name? Sorry, the blob?
Carno.
How do you spell that?
Carno. Like I have no car. Carno. They seem to like the Carno seems pretty laid back. Whereas Jeremy is like kind of the twitchy, like always moving around guy. It looks like they're not really seriously, either they don't consider you a threat or they think that you want to go because the guards, though armed, there's only 2 of them. So it's an especially light guard. Or maybe these guys are fucking horribly bad badasses that, are better than ninjas.
And what was the French lady's name?
Justine Blanchet.
I'll do my best to spell that.
Cool. Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Have I seen anyone do any sort of magic?
No. No, you haven't. However, give me spot hidden rolls, and if you make it, then, lower is better because whatever's up is kind of subtle.
Quarter.
Right. Since you mentioned it, you notice that here and there somebody has something like a spear, a belt buckle, something like that seems like it's kind of indistinct. And it kind of has this, like, some of the same kind of fog as the big fucking fog wall that kind of wisp off of it in a continuous thing. And you're not sure what's up with that. There's not a huge amount, although when they see you talking about them, they then explain in rapid French what's up with it. And you're like, we still don't speak French, motherfucker. And they're like,
No.
Yeah, so they're happy to explain everything to you.
I
in
like
French.
hold out my hands questioningly, like, may I touch it?
Oh, the guy takes off the belt buckle and hands it to you.
I take a look at it.
He tells you.
Can I roll again, or?
Sure. He goes into a wild explanation, possibly involving yaks, you're thinking. Yaks.
This be a use for identify a magic item?
Yes, it would. Well done, you. Let's see. This is a protective thing. So give me a roll. What's it called? Please hold. Logan has to look it up because the world is too big and weird. Oh.
Now I know why the glasses went bye-bye.
Do you?
And so you can identify it.
Is it? You have weird views on why things happen. There it is. Let's see. This would be under construction. Identify construction magic item. Cool. They bring people come over and like let you examine our stuff. So I'll tell you what. Okay. Try rolling one of each if you'd like, because they just run you through. It looks like they're all you don't know what's going on with them, but different things. They don't have a lot of stuff here, but they have a few things. So yeah, try one of each for identify.
1 sec.
Let's see.
There's a grand total, I believe, of 8. So basically mash the key 7 more times and good luck.
2, 3. Copy them down, right?
I'll do it in the order that you pasted them up there.
Sure.
So combat, curative.
Yep, go for it.
Don't know combat. Don't know curative. Don't know. Hold on, what's the next one?
Pretty much, if one of you guys can make one of them, then that will give you some information.
Don't know clairvoyant.
Okay, last one. I'm gonna play a skill 5.
Go team.
Don't know convention. Conveyance. Don't know communication. And the last one is concealment.
Oh, you already tried the conjuration?
There is no conjuration.
Yeah, there is.
Are you sure about that, Freddie?
Conjuration. Oh, I didn't copy the last one, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I quit it.
Holy shit. You get to find out stuff. Okay, the exact item, not important. But here's the way these things work. These are fog items. If you take it out of the realm here, then it goes away. Okay, so they're only good here because they're powered by the fog, right? So pretty much, it's not just the magic that goes away; the whole thing goes away. It's all of the items are made of the fog. Okay, unless the players figure out something amazingly clever, which could happen like later, or given the kind of things the players sometimes pull off, possibly when I'm done speaking. But anyway, what's up with these items is that unlike regular magic items, every time you use it, you have to roll a certain size dice. And if you roll a 1 on the dice, then the item goes. So, and the more powerful the item, the smaller the dice. So if it's a really powerful item, it's a D3. And if it's a shit item, it's either D8 or D10, something like that. So essentially, it has a really large chance of going away depending. And you can spend as many hero points on that shit as you want. But the items themselves do interesting, unusual things. They're also happy to tell you that French. Gesture a fog wall, French. Gesture a basket, French. Right. Apparently, they're going to put you in a basket, take you out, and dump you into the fog wall.
Yeah.
It's a kind of small basket, though.
And we roll empathy to see if they're being
you can,
friendly or threatening.
Sure.
Yeah, quarter.
They seem really nice, and their offer to go and kill Glenn just warms your fucking heart. Of course, you didn't understand it as we're going to put Glenn in the basket and take him out to the fog, but if you did, you'd be like, aw, you're so nice.
Okay.
Can I bring Mildred here? But no, they seem pretty easy. All these different races seem a lot easier going than humans. Humans would probably burn you guys as witches already, because we're good like that. Now, anyway, after you identify something, before you can use it, even if somebody else tells you what it does, you have to make an identify. If you're able to identify it, then you can use it with your activate appropriate skill roll.
And how often are you able to identify something?
Basically one attempt per session.
Okay. And if you identify that type of item, it's identified forever for you.
Just that item, yeah, that specific.
Not
item.
even duplicates of the same item.
The amount of different items and stuff, it could be on something different and all that. Yeah, you pretty much have to identify an item and then you can use the item, even if it's If it's a spear that has it on and a typewriter has it on, you still have to identify them.
Well, I mean, if you have a belt buckle of awesomeness and another belt buckle of
Gotta
awesomeness.
identify them.
Both, okay. Cool. Alright, blah to Glenn, obviously.
They all listen carefully, like, and then they all, one of them says something to the other one, the other one's like, shh, shh, shh.
What do you say?
I try to say in French, let me see if I fuck this up or not. Nope.
If you want to roll your French to see what the one guy said and got shushed by other people, you can, if you want.
Sure. No.
They also bring in. There are not a lot of children that live here. This looks your guess from having been here. This is a work camp, so they don't like bring the kids with them to because it looks like a fairly hostile forest. But wherever there's children, there are negligent parents, so they were brought here. Not a lot of them, but the kids are brought to see you. The kids all also work. Everybody works. There are no kids that are too young to work. So, the equivalent of like a 5-year-old human can fucking bring water or whatever.
Right.
Just like Asia. Make my shoes, bitch. Anyway, sorry, sweatshop joke. Yeah, go Nike. Woo. So do you want to cut to tomorrow when you, by the way, the road is called Les Vaux de la Taverne, if you care.
Okay.
Here, I'll copy paste that because they write in the same characters that you do, which is a blessing because, Cyrillic sucks.
Should we try to impress them with some magic?
You've seen nobody else casting magic.
I think that might terrify them. We need to find out a little bit more about them first. I don't want them to think we're some demons or something. Where do they...
Buy some water eventually.
Yeah, we probably should do that.
Yeah. They offer you their water. It's all brown.
What does it taste like?
Tastes like they got it out of the river nearby.
Did they give us a hut to sleep in?
You're in a communal hut with other people and stuff because it looks like a lot of people have their own huts, but then 30 or so creatures of different kinds are using this hut, and there's space for 2 more.
I don't know, Ren, do you want to try and cast a spell? As from what I can tell when I was here, this shouldn't do agents.
I'm not drinking this water as it is.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
I'm gonna hold the cup up and how do I describe this? Gesture that I'm about to show them something.
They all look at you and the cup. They bring in other people and they all gather around because if you're gonna fuck it up, you want to fuck it up as big as possible.
Alright, I'm gonna begin casting the. Do you want to do this as well, Glenn, or do it simultaneously?
Sure. Spell gift.
Yeah. So we both begin shaking the water cup and chanting for a minute.
Uh-huh.
I can continue to try, so.
They continue to watch. After 3 or 4 minutes, they will get bored of you shaking the cup.
Oh.
Got it. Everybody loses their fucking minds. They're yelling and screaming. Weapons are now being leveled at you. You've managed to turn a friendly thing into they might be demons type of thing. And they're screaming different things in French at each other. And pretty much, you've managed to, they're demanding answers to questions in French now.
I made it.
Offer them the water, it's pure.
What item did you use to do this? Or did you use magic? They all are glaring and they're yelling that.
You want some?
Oh no, you may as well just offer them a nice, tasty drink of cyanide right now. They just bat aside the jug. The water spills out on the thing. A lot of yelling and screaming. Somebody else is coming in with chains and shit. And
I use my magic shirt.
give me a French roll. If you make it, give me a fast talk roll.
French.
It just made this French.
That was to understand. Now you're trying to explain. You're like, if he had made a crit, then I'd let him fucking. They're like, and he's going. One of them reaches out to grasp your shirt. He takes your shirt and he's like, and it shows like the hand stitch thing. You're like, ha ha ha, and right, he is attempting to, and he looks at the others and he goes, my damn, and they're like, there's more yelling at you.
Jump in here, Freddy.
Right, he just sits there and smiles.
I don't know what they're saying.
Right. It shows Glenn now sitting shirtless, and they've chained your feet together. Your hands have been left free.
No.
There's a shitload of soldiers in here, dude, and they're all armed with like spears, crossbows, stabbing dirks and shit. They're pretty goddamn long. Are you sure you want to resist? You're thinking this might be quite a fucking combat. Right. So, as I was saying, Glenn's now sitting shirtless. They've got his shirt over on, like, have you ever seen those things that are drying out leather? They stuck it on one of those for some reason, and every now and then somebody's like, and you're like, So his shirt's been taken captive on a drying stretching rack as well, and they if you guys have any like knives or swords or whatever, those have been removed, but they're not heavily searching your shit. Pistols and stuff like that, they have no idea.
Have nothing on them.
Oh, well, then they don't take it. They leave you with your other non-stabby shit. But they do demand answers and stuff to questions that you are completely incapable of understanding. Eventually, they give up. They post like guards on you guys all fucking night, just sitting there watching you. Like, if they do something bad with like magic, I'm gonna stab the shit out of them. That kind of expression.
As we're going to bed or whatever. Did they untie him or did they leave him chained up all night?
The shirt or Glenn?
Glenn.
Oh no, your feet are also chained together.
Yeah, did they untie it or?
No, they leave your feet chained together, but you're not wearing handcuffs or anything. They just chained your feet together. So that once again, you cannot run. Just like at the chiropractor. You see, you didn't even need to go to a chiropractor. Everything was super nice until magic happened. So now instead of the two kind of laid back, happy-go-lucky guards, you got fucking 10 dudes who are keeping an eye on you as you guys are going down the road. And the shirt is carried by one of them on a drying rack on the end of a fucking stick, just in case. They've given you like a different shirt that seems to be made from material which is specifically made to itch more, but it's also like the shit that they're wearing, so you can't be too angry about that. They also send ahead a couple of guys on the frogs, which go pretty quick. Bang, bang, bang. They've got like the frog saddles, and they're like, woohoo! So they send a couple of guys off ahead on the road. You guys do the "My name is Ash and I am a slave" scene for a while as you are going down the road. Wearing leg manacles on the road, super uncomfortable.
They don't have carts or anything?
No, it looks like walking is a big thing here. As you guys are going down the road with your own guards, they've got like 3 guards out front, 7 behind. I mean, if you want to initiate combat, let me know because the odds are much more in your favor. Apparently, despite how evil Glenn's shirt is, where it has some guy with a stick holding it well away from him just to make sure it doesn't possess him or anything. The road itself is not empty. It looks like there's tradesmen, with like donkey-looking things, kind of like some guy came up with a new design for a donkey, right? And then said, "Yeah, it's kind of donkey," and with a lot of gear on their backs and stuff. It looks like food, small tools, shoes, wading boots, gloves, and stuff like that are going toward the village that you recently came from. Downstream is going rafts of clay and shit like that. The road itself seems to get better over time as you're going down it.
And it's still hot, right?
God damned hot. And it rains on you partway.
Well, that's a relief.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty.
He says, as you guys are like taking short, quick steps the whole way. Ching, 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 ching.
Yes, Glenn. At least it wasn't my fault this time.
By the way, you are also holding a chain which connects to the chain between your legs to keep it from dragging, because if it drags, you'd be falling over a lot. So you're holding that up in order to keep the chain off the ground so that you can like take your short steps and stuff. You don't have to hold it. Nobody's requiring, but if you don't, it gets ugly for you with like roots and shit. But the road is getting better as you go.
At what point do we dart off into the trees and try to trump out?
I mean, if they wanted to kill us, they would have done it by now.
Yeah.
I'd say we see where this goes.
Also, keep in mind, darting, unless you've learned to fucking run on your hands, I would allow acrobatics for that, which would really surprise everybody. And it always takes a long goddamn time to open up that old Trump gate thing, or any kind of Trump thing.
Mm.
2 minutes when people are like chasing you when you're not able to run seems like forever. Plus, it's a big, obvious thing that they may see from ways and start throwing spears at you and shit, which is, it's hard to concentrate when you're being stuck with spears.
Just play dumb for now and see where this leads us to. I don't think we're in any position to go anywhere anyway.
I mean, with your guys' combat skills, you could take on potentially 5 armed guys each and possibly win. But like I said, the road does have pretty decent traffic going upstream.
Okay. If they find someone that can understand us, I'm going to tell them that I had a necklace under my shirt and it disappeared because fog items go poof.
Ooh. That's a really, that may have gotten you off the hook if you could speak French.
Yeah, if only we could speak French. Look, we'll do our best to explain that this was a misunderstanding. Hopefully we'll get someone who speaks English. Or Latin. I can speak Latin as well.
Nice.
Cut 2. After, eventually, it takes, because you guys are going a little bit slower, you have to camp out, and so they set up pretty much 5 on, 5 off to guard you guys and keep you from doing anything bad. So the odds get even better. But they do also, you notice, they brought extra stuff for you guys to sleep on. They feed you. They give you more brown water, and they also have the shirt on the pole planted like just at the edge of firelight, ominously. It's almost like a weird kind of scarecrow that's keeping an eye on you at night. But the guards seem pretty cautious of both you and the shirt. Mostly you guys.
Okay.
They make sure you're well fed and stuff. They are definitely not humans. Humans, you'd probably be more chained up and possibly whipped for reasons. Logan has a dim view of most humans.
Glenn, there's a slight problem with your idea. Just thought I'd mention it. If your necklace disappeared, how would you have cast the spell?
you use
It disappears when you use it?
So every time you use
Oh,
it,
yes, right. You have a chance for it to disappear, right? I see now what you meant, okay. Alright, well, let's just be nice and, make friends with the gods and, tell them some jokes or something. Do you know any French jokes, Blaine?
You're trying to remember something that doesn't involve a baguette,
An omelet.
an omelet, and one of those weird hats that French people like to wear, and maybe a striped shirt. Beret, that's it.
They might not get our human jokes. We need something a bit more abstract.
So then the Blob Man, by the way, like all four races are represented in your guards. It looks like they don't have a lot of,
Right there.
they don't care who's doing what. Before you ate, the tree guy did stand up, say a bunch of stuff in French, and then all these soldiers were like, So you're not sure what's up with that. Anyway, right, cut to, you guys eventually see a town in the distance, which one of the soldiers says, Vitronesi. Tink.
what?
Vitronesi, he says.
Tronesti.
He points at, it's a nice walled town, looks like it's heavily garrisoned, lots of merchants coming, going. You guys, long before you get to town, you're now passing through farms and stuff. Everybody here either seems to be a farmer or a merchant, and there's obviously a lot more farmers than merchants. It looks a bit run down, although it's well maintained and fairly busy. There's a large, when you guys are going through the town, because since you're with a assload of guards and you're obviously prisoners, although a lot of people are asking about the shirt. And the guard like, and they're like, and they're like pointing spears at the shirt and you guys and stuff like, there's some fuckery going on. And Glenn thought he heard one say, we will kill the shirt in the morning. And he's like, Freddie spent a lot of time making that shirt. There's also a large open area with rotten wooden stalls that probably serves as a farmer's market from time to time. It's just like when people aren't using it, they just leave it here to slowly decay. They also seem to raise a lot of noisy dogs, but they're in pens.
What, like normal dogs?
They're all kind of the same breed of dog that. They don't have a lot in the way of fur on them. They're like not a hairless dog, but a really short-haired dog of some sort. And for some reason, the dog pens are right next to a slaughterhouse.
Oh, they use them as okay. Good.
The town it's I hear PETA calling me. What? The town's also on the river. It looks like boats go out to some of the boats that are coming down. They're trying to sell them shit, and as they're floating around, you're gonna guess that there's a few thousand people that live here, and they take you to La Villa Ambrouge. It looks like an inn.
I just follow.
There you go.
Thank you.
The toilet is outside and uses the river. Pretty much you sit on the toilet and it goes right down into the river, where further downstream you can see people gathering drinking water, etc. Your drinking water is coming through. It shows a guy peeing off the dock, and just over there somebody's like, I'll get water for the prisoners. Yay! And you guys are like, yay!
Gives a whole new meaning to the word backwater.
Yeah. It looks like you guys are noticing that about half the population here are the pig people, and the rest is kind of spread out among the other three races. It looks like this is definitely a kind of a semi-walled farming village. The wall is not like a huge impregnable thing. It's like at some point you're guessing somebody probably got in trouble for using some of the bricks from the wall to build their house, and they didn't. They did kind of a slipshod job of fixing it, but yeah. They put you into a guarded room, but it's like it's on the third floor, and there's not a lot to cling on to on the outside. Although you guys are both, I believe, expert climbers, and they don't know that, so they figure you're okay there. And they also they actually nailed a shirt to the wall to keep it from escaping, and they caution you guys about it. They're like, oh, no, 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 no. They point at the shirt a bit. And they have guards just outside. So theoretically, you are now unguarded, although you are in the middle of a pretty good-sized town with all these guys in them. And you definitely stick out because you're the only humans you've seen, and you don't speak the local language. Other than that, everything's fine.
How do you want to explain this?
We're alone?
Yeah. The guards are like outside of your door. They're probably listening in on you and stuff like that. But yeah, right now you guys are completely alone. They don't know you have fucking trump cards. They saw them when they were looking through shit. It's like pretty pictures. I don't want to see this guy's fucking kids or grandkids. You know, they just put them back in the.
I didn't even take them. I have a pocketed one.
Oh wow.
I literally have nothing but my clothes on my back and my hook.
You were super easy to search. I'm sure Glenn has like lockpicks and all kinds of weird shit on him, and they're like, when they saw like stuff like that, they just looked at him like, "You son of a bitch." They didn't take them from you, but they looked at you like he would tell us he's an apprentice locksmith is why he's carrying this. I'm sure, you know, if he could speak the language. Do you guys want to just kind of wait and see what happens? I mean, it's a fairly comfortable room. It's not.
Yeah, we're not being let out. We're just being left alone. So
this is our chance to trump out.
I don't know. Well, yeah, I was gonna say they left the leg manacles on, but the rest is they're pretty fucking open. Oh wait, they did take away your lockpicks if you have lockpicks because they don't want you to get out your leg manacles.
I don't even know what lockpicks are.
Yep. They mostly use skeleton keys back then because the delicate lockpicks would break trying to turn bolts that big, but they didn't want him digging around in there. He might injure himself. But one of the guards does have them on him, so if you slay him for treasure, you get lockpicks. They'll probably, you're thinking, put him in some sort of chest just outside of your room in case you break out and need to reclaim your gear. They don't seem super... these guys aren't tricky. It's not like you were captured by like modern day intel guys where they're combing through your hair looking for Garrow wire and shit. No, this kind of thing where it's like if it's not an obvious stabby weapon, or lockpicks, it's probably not important. Lockpicks could be used as weapons. So yeah.
I think if we can just explain to them that your item disappeared after you used it.
I mean, I would be okay with that. I'm concerned that they won't find anyone that can speak a language that we're fluent in, and so they'll execute us by default.
Then we'll just need to try extra hard at French.
Because if you believe in yourself, you can accomplish anything, including spontaneously shitting a new language.
I mean, look, during our time, how long did it take us to get here?
2 days, basically.
Okay.
If you'd been unfettered, it would have been like one long day of march.
And it sounds to me like they weren't going to take us here anyway. Before we even did anything. So the fact
road
that
does continue on. This is
Yeah.
only one stop, you're thinking. There's a knock at the door, and then after like about 3 seconds, the door opens, and a couple of pig women bring in like big things of water that they've actually heated up. Yes, still brown. And they what's that?
I think
No.
Bad.
I
said, "Oh, I could cast the spell again."
There you go. One of the pig ladies goes, blah, 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 motions at the water, motions at you guys, blah, 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 blah.
Yes, I start to get undressed when she leaves.
Okay. They leave after carefully explaining things. Glenn, she's like, you need to drown yourselves, or at least him, points at Freddy, in the water. And you're like, Oh, by the way, Freddy, do you have your fucking anal refresher on you?
Literally nothing.
Wow, okay, great. I was going to say, that would have created quite a fucking stir.
I have only my hook. That's it.
Yes. Well, yeah. You're a hard one to handcuff. So.
I'll go take a bath and get cleaned up.
Yeah. Are you... Glenn keeps looking at the large open window like, I could just be out that fucking window.
For once, I'm not the one trying to run away.
It's a weird fucking switch thing, isn't it? Freddy seems unusually cool. Apparently, he is only cool under pressure, Glenn, when you put him in a super hot climate. Because then his natural sweatiness isn't, right?
But they wouldn't be feeding us and cleaning up after us if they wanted to kill us. They probably just want to find out what's going on.
What did you say, Glenn?
I want to roll danger sense.
Sure.
Success.
I was going to say, it hasn't come up yet, so that's why there's a long pause. You don't feel like super freaked out. I mean, you're in an uncomfortable situation, and washing around manacles is a kind of a pain in the ass. But the manacles themselves are fairly rusty and shit. Also, it doesn't look like standard metal. It looks like some other kind of weird.
Can I roll metal crafting or something too?
You've never seen this shit before.
Okay.
You're in a totally new world with all new. Yes, I even figured out the fucking kinds of metals they got because I spent too much time on this shit. Anyway, after about half an hour, the guards come. Glenn, did you want to clean up also?
Sure.
Cool. One of the guards comes in and he's holding a fucking hammer. He glares at Freddy, glares at Glenn, goes over and pulls out the nails, and they take the shirt away.
Huh.
Okay.
It's still on the fucking stretchy dry rack thing, too. Another half an hour after that, they come and get you guys and are having you go with them. They take you to what you're guessing is probably a headman's thing, where it's got some pig guy who's sitting there eating some sort of meat that you're trying not to think about too much. You are offered food, including that same kind of meat, which has bones bigger than a chicken, smaller than a cow.
It would be rude to decline, so I accept.
Excellent. Yeah, you guys eat. The guy speaks to you, the headman guy. You can tell he's definitely a headman, but this is not like, he's not like a rich, ostentatious headman. It's more like, I run a pretty small town, but I'm the big fish of this small town. That's easy to figure out. He has people sitting around keeping an eye on him. Lots more. He has his own guards and stuff, although his guard force and the guard force of the place you came from, you're guessing seemed the same, even though the population's much bigger here. It's apparently a lot more guards were needed from where you came from.
Okay.
Or from whence you came. Yeah, better.
Does he speak English?
No, he speaks French, and he asks you a lot of questions. Everybody here speaks French.
Does anyone speak Latin?
No,
I
they've
No.
never heard this language.
I failed anyway.
Good. They've never heard your version of it either.
Well, it's Burmese.
Nope.
It's French, or that's it.
Well, they do come in and try the other couple languages on you, but they're very bad at them. So even if you make your roll, you will get a check in their languages. But unfortunately, their language skills doesn't go beyond, do you speak this other weird language?
That was Russian.
Cool.
I attempt to say to them,
Ildish.
my friend used a magic necklace that disappeared.
They attempt to make their Russian roll because they've got one guy who's. They all glare at you like you just. Because the guy says something else in French and everybody glares at you. And they bring over the shirt on the stretching rack and they give it a severe beating with a small stick while looking at you.
Go ahead and do something.
I made my Yildish, so I say, this is all a misunderstanding. I had a magic item, a necklace under my shirt, and I used it, and it went poof.
They tried their Yeldish because, as I said, they are not good at these other languages. Oh. And then they ask you another question about that in French as a follow-up. Oh, fucking Glenn understands the question. Woo! They said, you must prove that you can do this. What were you trying to do?
It was a simple water purification deal.
Give me your French roll because you're like water. They get the water and they're struggling with the purification. As are you.
Made the water clean. I try the other languages.
Sure. You can try French for clean.
Clean.
I don't know the word for that. You don't know. You know 1 out of 5 French words, which is better than I know in a lot of languages.
I say to them in Yiddish, he make water better.
They beat the shirt soundly while glaring at Freddy. One of them takes a fucking coal out of the fireplace and holds it against part of the shirt while glaring at you and burns a small hole in the shirt. And he goes, yeah. And he says something else in French, and then they put the coal back in the fire.
It made the water not dirty.
Finally.
One of the guys says to one of his advisors, the headman says to his advisor, blah, 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 blah. In French.
Okay, French again.
He seems to be asking him a question, to which the advisor's like, holy shit, Freddie, man. He's like, why can't they speak French? Even children can speak French.
We come from a faraway land.
Give me a French roll to pull that off. We come from a faraway land. Yeah.
No.
They glare at you. One of them gestures at the shirt like... he just points at it like,
They asked why we can't speak French.
Right. They
come from a faraway land.
They are now talking amongst themselves. Give me empathy rolls.
Is that going to be the name of this show?
What, French? Empathy?
We come from the faraway land.
That's not bad.
Empathy made it quarter.
Right now they're trying to figure out if you are evil or not.
Totally not evil.
Good people.
Sure, roll on that shit. You can each have one attempt as you babble insanely in other languages.
No.
Eventually, the headman, he comes up with a decision. He stands up and he says, blah, 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 blah. And everybody goes,
French.
Oh, French. Oh, what is it?
Whoa. He says, I do not know what to do with them. I shall send them to Peru to let the king find out what should be done with them. And everybody applauds his wisdom in passing the buck.
I blow out to Glenn.
He passes the buck upward. Plus, he also says, as part of your bonus thing, since these are new creatures, he will have wanted to see them anyway. And you're thinking, we would have been going there anyway. Now we're in chains because we didn't want to drink shit water. You're thinking, is it worth the explosive diarrhea?
I tried to say we apologize for any inconvenience.
We are simple travelers.
Nah.
They beat the shirt while looking at Freddy, making a lot of direct eye contact. You know, when old women beat the carpets, they're doing that to his shirt. His shirt definitely looks.
What? My shirt? My shirt didn't do it.
No, his shirt.
Oh, his. Okay.
Yeah, his shirt looks very distressed now, and you're thinking that if this kind of abuse keeps up on his shirt, eventually you'll get some sort of edgy 17-year-old girl wanting to wear it. Along with her heavily distressed jeans, etc.
Why does nobody know how to speak English?
So, right, he says some more stuff in French, and everybody agrees. You guys get to sit at their...
No.
Cool. You guys get to sit at their feast, and you guys are treated super well. Pretty much, they even allow you to drink if you want to drink their strong. It's kind of like a combination of weak beer with whiskey in it.
Sure, I'll sip it, but not enough to get drunk.
Oh yeah, a lot of people are happy to get drunk, but except for the armed guards who just sit there watching you, Glenn, and Glenn's shirt. Glenn, the shirt you're wearing is super fucking itchy. You look at your heavily distressed other shirt, which has been beaten repeatedly. Sometimes even during the feast, they'll go over and just fucking have at it. Like, yeah, take that. And, but eventually the feast ends. You guys are escorted back to the hotel room. The guard goes, French, 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 French.
French.
Good job at the feast. Most likely kill you in the morning. They stand outside.
Au revoir.
They all wave at you. The guards actually still seem pretty friendly. Give me empathy rolls for one last thing.
Nailed it.
Yeah, you guys are thinking that after the explanation, your chances of being killed have gone way down if Glenn can just fluently, if he can shit enough French out in front of the king or ruler or whatever it is here that they've got to explain it, the problem should go away. Everybody seems okay toward you, aside from the fucking leg manacles, which they leave on. Just as a way of saying, run. But you're now back. They don't know of Freddy's personal problem, so they have oil lamps, but they're kind of like safety lamps because they've got like a little thing of oil and then a bigger thing of water that it floats in. And then inside the oil's got like a little wick thing. So it's like a little boat of oil inside of a bigger flat container of water. So if it gets bumped, then hopefully the water will splash out the flame.